What's up, Internet? It's Griffinlobster. In the house. Literally in the house. In my house, not in my dorm. That's why it looks weird in here. Or different, anyway. It looks like a white box. Well, it's not a white box. The walls are more of a beige. So I'm in a beige box. But this is the, upstairs computer room. It's not meant to be fancy. I'm blocking some of the room, though. Some of the details. Yeah. The window. The candle my mom put up for Christmas. And it's a Lego castle that I built. Yeah. Only the best here in the Griffinlobster house. Yeah. A lot of stuff happened this week. Done with school. That's why I'm back. I'm from Illinois. My governor screwed up big time. He just needs to resign. Everyone knows who I'm talking about. George Bush got a shoe thrown at him. What do you think about that? Dark Minded Sith made a funny little video, but it's in the description. So, yeah. Let's get right to it. Who needs to talk about school and politics and all that stuff when you got video games to talk about? Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. All right. So here's the continuation of my list. Decided to do this instead of Psychonauts. A couple reasons. First of all, I've decided to get back into World of Warcraft for some reason. Maybe just over the break, I don't know. But I have to download this huge patch that's going to take forever, and trying to run Camtasia while my computer's doing that kind of thing would be just a death knell to my frame rate, and slowdown would be all up in my face. So, no thanks. Let's just move on with this list, shall we? 35 through 31 today. Here we go. Number 35 is Ms. Pac-Man. It's an arcade game. Came out in 1981, which I think makes it the earliest game on this list. I think. Not sure. Not sure when it came out in 1981. But if you wanted to say Pac-Man, then this definitely is the earliest game on my list. I suppose you could switch those two around. They're not too much different. They're really not. But Pac-Man came out in 1979, I think. Not sure, though. Yeah, so Ms. Pac-Man. Why Ms. Pac-Man? It's such a stupid, simple game, right? Well, sometimes simplicity is good. And this is probably one of the first games I ever really played. Or, encountered, maybe, I guess would be more. I didn't really play it that much. I kind of started playing it more once I started getting more into video games. The right for the thing that got me really into video games, that right deserves to be held with Mario. He's my main man. But Ms. Pac-Man was definitely the first one I ever encountered. My aunt has a Ms. Pac-Man cocktail-style arcade machine in her house. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it's not like a stand-up kind where you sit at. That's called cabinet. And there's kind of a smaller version of that that's called cabaret. Cocktail is the one that kind of sits on the ground, and the screen is face up, and you sit at it and you look down at it like that while you play it. And I suppose you could put drinks around it. That's cocktail. I don't know why, but that's what it's called. Pretty sure. Yeah, but so Ms. Pac-Man is a simple game, but it's probably more deserving than a lot of more complex games to be in this list, just because it's kind of paved the way. Talk about pop culture video game. Pac-Man is just so inbred in our society. It's just so yeah, Ms. Pac-Man is definitely worthy of this list just because of its impact. Goldeneye 007 is number 34. For the N64, that came out August 25th, 1997. The reason this one belongs on here, I say second only to the original Super Smash Bros. This game is the game I played most as far as party scenes go and multiplayer sessions go in the 64-bit era. This game defined the original first-person shooter experience for me. Now, I was really bad at it, and this game is really, really dated. I mean, you could look at this game and you could just kind of smart because it's so wildly just outdated. The guns, the pistols in your hand looks like someone's holding a cylinder up. It looks really, really primitive. But it's kind of neat to see how far games have come, and it was definitely a good game. Gave rise to a spiritual sequel, if you will, Perfect Dark, which is another great first-person shooter. I feel like Bond games have at least not, if not been like definitely good, then definitely consistent. I don't think I've ever encountered um, a Bond game that I've hated. I can't think of a Bond game that I dislike. There might be a couple. Of course, I have never played every Bond game, but of the ones that I've played, I seem to think that they were at least all right or good. But Goldeneye is definitely the best Bond game, just because of its classic nature. Yeah. So number 33 is The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. Now you're going to notice that there's a lot of Zelda on this list. And this is the highest the handheld versions are going to go. From here on out, I think, don't hold me to that, I don't have my list in front of me, but I think this is the highest handheld Zelda game. This was for Game Boy Advanced. Came out January 10th, 2005. This game rates higher than Link's Awakening for a couple reasons. This one is much more like really in depth, and there's so many different things you can do. You can spend a lot of time just finding kinstone pieces, which is like this weird thing where everyone you meet has like one half of a kinstone piece, and you got to find a piece that matches that half. And not only is that like a big puzzle solving element, but it's just like another level of gameplay that I really enjoyed. I think something really similar to that in further handheld games would be a good idea. As opposed to like Phantom Hourglass, where they thought, hey, it's a good idea to make you return to the same dungeon over and over and over and over and over again. Sorry, there's a little venom I have for that game. Don't get me wrong, it's still a great game. I mean, it's a Zelda game, but I think that game made me angry, probably more than any other Zelda game. Take that back, Water Temple, Ocarina of Time. No thanks. Okay, so yeah, Minish Cap, awesome game. Kind of interesting storyline, a little different with the whole turning really tiny thing. But that's a whole other aspect of the game. They kind of went to new areas and found just a gold mine of entertaining stuff. So I'd definitely check it out. Okay, number 32 is The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion for the Xbox 360. That came out March 20th, 2006. And came out for Windows also. And then eventually for PlayStation 3. This game dazzled me. It was like the first game I ever played at 360. Dazzled me first with its graphics, because it was like the first screenshot I ever saw of a 360 game. It blew my mind. It looks so great, and the game is huge and totally immersive, and you can do whatever you want. As soon as you get past the opening, what do you want to call it, tutorial, class creation section of the game, you can just do whatever you want, and it's almost always fun. And even if you decide to just do the main quest, you're still going to find yourself with hours of entertainment, and you're definitely going to get sidetracked. It's impossible not to. There are so many quests in this game. If there's someone out there who has played every quest, and I'm sure there is, but I'd like to meet them, and I'd like to shake their hand, because that is worthy of some recognition. That is a feat. Whoever has done that, hats off to you. That is a huge game. That is a huge game. You could spend 100 hours and still not... That's a huge game. So good, though. So yeah, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Awesome. And finally, on this list, number 31 is Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. That came out April 18th, 1994. And then it came out on Wii Virtual Console August 20th, 2007. I think it shows to me that a game as old as this still stands as probably my favorite Metroid game. It's so immersive for being so dated, and it pulls you in with its music and its storyline and its exploration. It's just like exploration is always the theme of these games. Looking for power-ups, looking for your next place you need to go. And it never gets boring. It always just makes you feel like you're in kind of the adventure mode. It puts you in the role of Samus, and it's a really fun role to play. Really fun and immersive. It's just a great game. I think it's ahead of its time in its level of immersion. I think it speaks to its quality that even with all the bells and whistles that you can put on games these days to make them really fancy looking, I think it speaks to its quality that it still remains very high in my regard as far as video games go. One of the finest games for the Super Nintendo. Yes, absolutely. You should definitely check it out if you have a Wii Virtual Console or get it over ROM, even though that's illegal. But who cares? Everyone does it anyway, right? Right. Okay, well, this has been 5 more of my games that I like. Okay, this has been Griffinlobster. Keep it real. And, yeah, that's about it.